All right, let's get straight into it. We're not here for the usual motivational fluff. This is about the brutal, underlying architecture of real achievement. We're going to dismantle the excuse factory in your head and show you what happens when you decide to operate at full speed.
And this is the absolute core of the whole thing. Every single time you debate hitting the snooze button or you talk yourself out of doing something hard, you're basically killing a little piece of your own potential. That negotiation you have with yourself, that's the one and only thing standing between you and your goals.
No, seriously, just think about that for a second. What if there was no debate, no hesitation, no waiting to feel like it? Just a straight line from an idea to execution. This isn't about becoming a robot, not at all. It's about getting rid of all the friction that keeps you stuck in place.
Okay, so to really get this, you have to understand the two fundamental archetypes that are inside all of us. On one hand, you have the person who negotiates, the one who dreams and plans. We'll call them the dreamer. And on the other hand, you have the person who just executes. That's the machine.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting when you break it down. The dreamer, the negotiator, they're always waiting for motivation to strike, waiting for the perfect plan, waiting for likes and validation. But the machine, the architect, they don't wait for anything. They follow a protocol, a system that runs whether they feel like it or not. They dictate their own state. They don't ask the world for permission to perform.
And here's the key distinction, right? The dreamer thinks being busy is the same as making progress. They're scrolling, they're researching, they're networking, but they're not actually moving. The machine knows that the only data that matters, the kind that gets you real results, is generated by action. Movement is the only metric.
You know, living as the dreamer, constantly negotiating with yourself, it comes with a really high and often hidden cost. It creates this huge gap between where you are and where you could be, and we're going to call this the power gap. Yet most people think the gap between them and the people they admire is some kind of magic, talent or luck or perfect timing. It's not. The real difference is velocity. It's how fast they can close that gap between having an idea and actually doing it. That's the power gap. And this quote just brilliantly nails the number one excuse. Oh, I'm not ready yet. I'm still preparing. But in the world of real performance, readiness is just a story we tell ourselves. It's fear wearing a costume of being thorough.
Let's be totally clear about this. Planning just creates more doubt. Movement creates data. Action is the only input that the real world actually recognizes and rewards. Every minute you spend planning is a minute you're not getting real feedback from reality.
Okay, so this might all sound a bit abstract. Let's make it real. Let me tell you a cautionary tale, something I call the pain trigger. This is the story of a guy named Mark, and Mark was addicted not to progress, but to the presentation of progress. So Mark had all the right stuff. He felt like an entrepreneur because he was always in webinars, always networking in the comments. His Notion templates, absolutely perfect. His Instagram stories were always hinting at some big launch coming soon. He was playing the part of a founder, and he was playing it really well. And after 2 years, 2 full years of building, here's what he actually had to show for it. This number, that's the net change to his bank account. 0. All that activity, all that busyness, it added up to absolutely nothing real. Why? Because he never actually moved.
And here was the really painful realization he finally had. You see, those little dopamine hits he got from likes and new followers, they weren't building his dream. They were building someone else's. He was just an engagement metric in an app that was literally designed to keep him scrolling, to keep him stationary.
So how do you escape that trap? It's not with a better plan or a new productivity app. It's with a protocol, a simple, totally non-negotiable system that's designed to just eliminate excuses. This is the 30-day execution protocol. And it all boils down to 3 simple but absolutely brutal commands. Mute the noise, kill the performance, and fuse your thoughts directly to your actions. Let's break them down. All right, step 1. For the next 30 days, you operate in total silence. That means no notifications, no news feeds, no mindless scrolling. The entire goal here is to clear out all the static so you can finally hear the signal, which is the work that actually matters. If it's not essential for your mission, consider it a weapon of mass distraction. Step 2 is huge. You have to kill the presentation. High performers do not write a 5-paragraph essay to justify their boundaries. No is a complete sentence. You're going to get back so many hours of your life by simply killing the need to perform being a good person for people who aren't even invested in your success. And step 3, this is like a cheat code to bypass your brain's negotiation center. The rule is dead simple. If a task takes less than 5 minutes to do, you do it the second you think of it. You don't put it on a calendar, you don't say, I'll do it later. You just close the gap between thought and action. You move, instantly. So, where does all this lead? It leads to a reality where you are the architect of your life, not the negotiator. It leads to a world where your actions do all the talking for you, because you finally muted everything else. And this right here is the final, brutal truth. Your perfect, color-coded 90-day plan is completely worthless if you spend today negotiating with yourself. Success isn't something that's built in the future. It's forged right now in the immediate execution of day one. So, that's it. There are no more secrets. The entire architecture has been laid out for you. This is the protocol you use to build that version of yourself that doesn't negotiate, the one that doesn't wait for permission, the version that wins, quietly, brutally, and without a single apology.
The time for just passively consuming information is over. You know, watching this, learning the concepts, that was the easy part. The real work, the only part that actually matters, starts the second this is over. This is your training arc, and it starts now.
Shoes on, door shut, world muted. Remember these. They aren't just words. They're your new commands. They are the triggers that bypass negotiation and force you to execute.
Look, the blueprint is in your hands. The protocol is crystal clear. But the world couldn't care less about your potential. It only responds to what you do. So the only question left is, what is your next move?